Hello and greetings dear 1000 PS friends. It's 2025 and the first new motorcycles of the year, or rather 2 new motorcycles, are here. KTM has finally revealed more details about the 125 SMC R and the 390 SMC R. The time has come. At EICMA 2024, we got our first glimpse of these two models. Back then, it wasn't entirely clear when or in which season they'd hit the market. Would it be 2025? If so, would it be at the beginning of the season? Well, here's the good news right off the bat. According to sources, they'll be available in the first quarter. And the price? It's absolutely sensational, but more on that at the end of the video. So stick around if you want to know right away. There have been some updates to the bikes. They're new, but they're based on the well-known 125 and 390 Duke models. What does that mean? They have the same engine inside, but there are significant changes to the frame, as well as a new swing arm. So there's a lot that's new here. Let me walk you through it. First, I'd like to talk about the design. Here's a quick tip to help you tell them apart, because they look almost identical. The 390 comes with spoked wheels, while the 125 is equipped with cast wheels. Additionally, the rear section of the 125 is white, while on the 390, the white accents are located near the tank on the side. Speaking of the tank, traditionally the SMC R models had their tanks under the seat. That's not the case with these smaller models. They feature a 9-liter metal tank positioned in front of the rider. Another change compared to the larger 690 sibling is the exhaust system. On the 125 and 390, KTM uses underfloor exhaust systems which lower the center of gravity and give the rear a slimmer, more minimalist appearance. Personally, I really like this. Now, it's over to you. What do you think of the new design? Do you find it more appealing than the old 690? Or do you prefer the previous version? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of the 690, we're still waiting for the 2025 model. KTM hasn't revealed yet whether there'll be anything new there. It would definitely suit the 690 to have the cool new LED headlights that are mounted on the 390 and 125. Overall, the look is fresher. The aggressive mask on the front already looks very modern, replacing the somewhat dated design of the 690. The 390 variant, in particular, with its violet accents, gives a nod to KTM's off-road look from the 1990s, which personally I really like. And of course the base color is orange. How could it not be for a KTM? The black and white accents at the front and rear of the bike complement it nicely. Now let's talk about the frame and colors. As I mentioned earlier, the frame borrows heavily from the 390 and 125 Duke. Both bikes share the exact same frame, which is a steel trellis frame. It's a two-piece design with the rear subframe bolted on. This will definitely excite those who regularly take their bikes to supermoto tracks and occasionally take a tumble. If the rear gets damaged, you can simply replace the bolted-on subframe. It's much cheaper than having to replace an entire welded frame after a crash. That can get expensive. Other adjustments include changes to the steering head angle and a slight modification to the frame's stiffness to meet the specific demands of supermoto riding. The aluminum swing arm at the rear is also newly developed. It's not the same as the one on the 390 Duke, but is identical to the one used in the 390 Adventure models, which are also set to hit the market this year. The suspension doesn't hold many surprises. KTM continues to use its in-house WP brand. Up front, there's an open cartridge fork with 43mm stanchions. On the 390 variant, the fork is adjustable for compression and rebound damping, whereas the 125's fork is non-adjustable. Both have 230mm of travel at the front, a very respectable figure, and the rear also offers 230mm of travel. The 390's monoshock is adjustable for rebound and preload, while the 125's shock is only preload adjustable. As for the wheels, I've already mentioned them. The 390 comes with spoked wheels, while the 125 has cast wheels. Both share the same tire dimensions, 110/70/17 at the front and 150/60/17 at the rear. The 390 is fitted with Michelin Power 6 tires just like the 390 Duke, while the 125 comes with MR, FRE, VC 1 tires, an Indian brand you might recognize from the scooter scene. What surprised me is that the braking system is identical on both models. Up front, there's a 320mm single disc with a 2-piston radial caliper, and at the rear, a 240mm disc with a single piston caliper. You might think that's not very sporty, but remember that even the larger 690 SMC R, which has excellent braking performance, only uses a single disc at the front. This is thanks to the bike's low weight. Speaking of weight, let's talk about it. The 125 weighs 145 kilograms, while the 390 weighs 154 kilograms. KTM lists these weights as ready to race. I'm not entirely sure what ready to race means here. At first I thought it meant fully fueled, but after doing the math, in the A2 license class, there's a minimum weight to power ratio of 0.2 kilowatts per kilogram. For the 390 with 33 kilowatts, 45 horsepower, that means the bike must weigh at least 160 kilograms. So I assume the ready-to-race weight includes all operating fluids except fuel. Add in the 9-liter tank and you get a weight of around 162 kilograms fully fueled, still very lightweight. The low weight also ensures sufficient braking performance. Another noteworthy update is the Supermoto ABS, which was already familiar from the Duke and the 690S MCR. This year, it's been enhanced with 3 modes: Road, Supermoto and a new Supermoto Plus mode. I'm not entirely sure yet what the Plus mode entails. Since we're on the topic of modes, let's move on to the electronic features. These are quite impressive for this class. The 390 has 2 riding modes, Street and Sport. In Sport mode you can deactivate the traction control. This traction control system on the 390 is lean angle sensitive. The 125, however, doesn't have riding modes or lean angle sensitive traction control. Both models are equipped with a slipper clutch, and the 390 SMC R also offers an optional up and down quick shifter. Another positive update is the extended service intervals compared to the earlier 390 models. The first service is due at 1,000 kilometers, but the next one isn't until 10,000 kilometers, making these bikes very practical. One of the most striking features compared to older supermotos is the 4.2-inch color TFT display. We already saw this at the EICMA. It fits beautifully into the cockpit with a minimalist design. Using KTM's signature 4-way controller, it allows you to adjust riding modes and even offers connectivity features. Through the KTM app, you can use the display for navigation. In this regard, these smaller models are a step ahead of their 690 counterpart. I'm curious to see if the 690 SMC R will also get these updates for the coming season. We don't know yet. What we do know, and here's where I'll wrap things up, is the price. I promised a surprise, and here it is. The 125 SMC R will cost 5,599 euros, and the 390 SMC R will be priced at 6,999 euros. They're exactly the same price as the Duke models. There were rumors beforehand that these might be more expensive, but I can reassure you, they're not. Given the upgraded suspension and the new developments in these bikes, this is actually very good news. Positive news from KTM has been rare lately, but I hope these smaller models are a step in the right direction and help KTM turn things around amidst everything happening behind the scenes. We'll keep you updated as soon as we learn more. When new information becomes available, we'll make another video. For now, nothing has been officially announced. Fingers crossed for KTM and these 2 bikes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any new releases or tests in 2025. Thanks for watching and ciao.